Hello, everyone. Sorry, I had my mic muted, so I was doing the opening spiel and all that, and no audio was coming out. So, gee, that's embarrassing. Um, but yeah, today we're going to be going through the chapter at breakneck speeds. It's not too complicated, the chapter. It's quite a aftermath kind of thing. So we're going to look through it and just have some fun. And first
Hello,
thing,
everyone.
whoa, Jesus
Sorry,
Christ,
I
I
had
can
my
hear
mic
myself.
muted, so I was doing the opening spiel and all that. And
God, is that what I sound like? Whoever the one viewer is, you're very brave. Anyway, let's get right into it. We start off with a chapter. We start off with a cover page, of course. This is a beautiful Wano themed color page. We get the return of beloved characters like Otama, Shinobu, and Yamato. Um, I think they're celebrating Tsukimi, I think? The moon viewing autumn festival, right? For harvest? Maybe. Or it could just be an autumn themed cover spread in general. What I think is really cool about this is obviously we get to see Chopper hanging out with real Tanukis, and we get to see Inari ninjas here roaming around. Um, what really blows my mind though is Nami. Nami's eye color is completely wrong. Like, this is what it's meant to be. It's meant to be like brown. But here it's blue, like that one time Sanji possessed her in Punk Hazard, which, yeah, that's a bit bizarre. We also don't normally see Luffy with glasses, which kind of throws me off. Um, and I'm really worried that my music will autoplay something copyright. It's okay for now though. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't think there's too much to say. There's cute interactions. Usopp and Chopper. I mean, that's pretty damn cute. What blows my mind though is like all of these dancing foxes in the background, and yeah, it's just a really cute one. We've got Yamato's shirt, which says Odin ni Soro, which is part of Odin's catchphrase, of course. Which is Odin only when it boils. 15 I haven't worked out. I know 15 in Japanese wordplay is usually Ichigo, like strawberry. I don't know how that applies to Yamato though. Maybe she's the 15th Straw Hat. Oh my god. Um, Zoro has cast off on his hat. Really, there's nothing too significant here. Um, so I'm just gonna leave it at that and move on. The Nami eye thing has got me messed up though. Like, I just don't understand why they're blue. We've got a Oda note where he's talking about one of his pizza joints which he likes has been added to his Deliveroo um, range. Oh no, sorry, Uber Eats, um, which is cool, I guess. He overate some pizza, relatable. So yeah, the aftermath of the battle. Did they really break the curse? So Rox is surprised at the strength of these two young Ds here. Come on, stay alive. This island is. So I think Rox is desperate to get off the island and thinks that he might be able to survive at this point, but he sees the looming shadows of the God's Knights. And yeah, damn it, it's too late. Roger, Garp, run! I should switch to more tragic music, shouldn't I? Let's go with Yu Yu Hakusho's sad music. Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm gonna cry. Yeah, damn it, it's too late. Roger, Garp, run! You can't die here. Oh yeah, there's one more thing I wanted to say. Thanks for stopping me. And he gets stabbed by Garling here, presumably. We see a blood splatter. Now, off screen is not confirmation in One Piece, especially, these days. but I'm gonna assume this is legit for now. Rox had a great run as a character. He was nothing like any of us expected. I think we all thought he would be. I think we all assumed he would be a great villain who would inspire Blackbeard and stuff, but really he was the protagonist of this whole thing. Or the semi-protagonist, the deuteragonist, I should say, because we're gonna get back into Harold's story now. We annoyingly cut to black and don't see it, but Yaban and Rayleigh seem to have saved Roger and Garp off screen. It would be really funny if they clowned on Garling and co. and just beat them up, but I'm assuming that's not what happened. I have no idea why Garling gets crowned the champion after this, though. Bro did nothing to deserve it. But yeah, we've got how's Rox? You're worrying about the enemy? I'm your enemy too, so Garp is pointing out the inherent contradiction there. And Roger's pretty damn serious here. He's like, Rayleigh, tell me, what happened to Rox? And he was killed. So I assume that they witnessed it, or they came right after the fact. I'm not really sure. Like, this cutaway, like, you see that there's segments here, which implies a bit of a time skip, but it's not clear how much. This is something which I kind of wish the anime... Like, this is a case where I would be happy for some anime filler. Just to show them, like, you know, swoop in and grab Roger and Garp right before they get stabbed too. I think that would be cool. Anyway, hurry, the island's collapsing. Don't let the pirates escape. Roger's ship is on the move. Fire! And yeah, this event would leave no mark on the pages of history. And I'm just going to read the whole narration out before describing the art. The crumbling island was swallowed by the waves and consumed by fog. Like curtains closing on a grand stage, that was the essence of the God Valley incident. The silence in the incident's wake lasted only a moment, before a massive bolt of lightning split the heavens, and with that, the curtain rose for new tales to unfold. So that's the title being dropped, of course. Yeah, so we get to see the Yonko on the right, or well, Whitebeard and Big Mom. Kaido's obviously on the left. And we get basically everyone who's going to go on to shape the next era is highlighted on the left and right here. So we've got Garp, the hero of the Marines, Roger, both hospitalized, getting blood transfusions and stuff. Whitebeard looks pretty stoic. Big Mom, like, Christmas has come early for her. She gets to give she gets to give some people a fruit and stuff, you know. It's oh, hey Meek, hi Bleep. Yeah, right side is old gen for sure. Left side is the younger cats. Kaido is flying off to be imprisoned at Punk Hazard for 20 years though, so he's not exactly in for a happy future. Dragon, he's sailing off to get arrested, presumably. Let's make sure that this next song is not copyright annoying. Oh no, the Naruto theme. I can't play that. Yeah, left side new gen for sure. And we've got Shanks the baby sleeping in his treasure hoard, which... Okay, I don't know how much you guys are into, like, classic fantasy and stuff, like Tolkien and stuff, but dragons like gold, right? Do you think Oda intentionally had it so that this celestial dragon was sleeping in a hoard of gold? Because if so, that's pretty damn cool, right? That is pretty cool. We've got Kuma, my boy. He's resting after literally being the best person ever in this entire series. And Blackbeard... Yeah, Blackbeard's interesting. I didn't expect him to escape with his mother. And I'm just wondering what's going to become of this. Blackbeard took this entire incident without talking. And he's not like a baby. He's like a toddler to small child here. So I think this deeply scarred him in a way. I really want to, like... It would be kind of crazy if we got some kind of, like, tragic Nom-like flashbacks for him at some point. But yeah, if I remember, the Japanese was like, this is the gist or the summary of the God Valley incident. I think Essence was the cleanest choice here because it's talking about how it was consumed by fog and, you know, just swept away at the end of the story, but it set the stage for a new story. I think Essence probably hammers home, like, this event would not leave a mark in history, but it would leave a mark on everyone who would participate in future historical events. So that's kind of cool. No, we cannot have that music. Something not copyright, please. This whole playlist is so copyright. Okay, we'll just go with this. Yeah, can't be Shenmue music. Actually, you know what? Is there like an extended version of this? Yeah. Cool. That's a nice calm beat. We'll leave it on that for now. Yeah, obviously it's kind of funny that Garp walks away as the hero here when clearly it should be my boy Kuma. So yeah, we cut to a scene. I believe it's been probably a day or two. It can't be more because Shanks would have suffocated. We have the men on the ship saying still, and someone else saying hold it in. Just wait till Roger's up. Come on, Captain. I'm dying to open the treasure chests. And Roger finally emerges. We've got Gloriosa here holding her head. I think she's the only one who's truly relieved. He's like, sorry guys. Sorry to worry you guys. And everyone's like, yeah, we're thrilled you're up. More importantly, check it out. And Roger's like, don't you guys care about me at all? And we've got, you know, the Riz Lord Rayleigh. That should be his real his real epithet. Rizlord Rayleigh here. Shaki's safe and sound, and he's literally no-selling Shaki being all over him. And everyone's celebrating, look how much treasure we scored to boot. And Roger's ecstatic. What a great haul. I kind of wanted a beat of Roger being more affected by Rox's fate. Like, maybe show that Will was inherited by him to an extent. Bleep still cannot understand why Blackbeard isn't against slavery. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, but I think kind of like Kaido, he's got a survival of the fittest, like whoever is the strongest gets to dominate and, you know, make their will known. So, like, I think he kind of thinks like that. Like, you're either the dominated or the domineering. Oh dear, I heard of something unplug. I hope that wasn't important. You're expecting Roger to be sleeping for days. We don't know how long Roger was sleeping. We see a time skip box here, but it can't be that long because they hear a sound from the treasure chest and wah, huh? Googa. What's that? It's coming from the chest. There's something in there. Open it carefully. Click, gulp, and huh? A baby? And yeah, we see baby Shanks here, like the dragon he is in his treasure hoard. Something I want to highlight is Film Red. In Film Red, the design which they have for Roger is completely wrong. I used it for the thumbnail here, and he's got the mustache. Now, there is a sketch that we knew existed before now, which was included in... why am I playing with the PSP? Which was included in... was it Volume 4, 4.444 billion? Something like that. And there was a fan version of this as well, which showed Roger with the mustache. So, I mean, the fan art is not bad compared to Oda's actual art, I'm not gonna lie. But this is scan quality, of course, so the shading is not what it would be in a volume, of course. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see the design change. I'm wondering if this is something Oda changed his mind on, or if he just didn't communicate well with the anime stuff about how Roger's meant to look at this time. It could honestly be either. Anyway, so we finally get the Baby Shanks scene canon in the manga. This is probably the longest time between a draft page and it actually appearing in Jump. Like, because that Shanks page was ages ago. Okay, so let's move on. The Rocks Pirates wiped out. That's the headline. By the way, the TS for a baby. Oh yeah, it got crooked. I don't know how. Should probably ask someone later. More so than crooked, it's touching the sides. I think it's because it was probably TS'd on a spoiler copy and then transferred. Oh wow, you did that? That's really cool, Meek. So maybe this music's too chill for this moment. This is also really chill. This is also probably going to be copyrighted. God damn it. I need music. I need to set up a massive playlist. Oh, let's go with Piccolo's theme. Can't go wrong with Piccolo's theme. So yeah. Rocks Pirates wiped out, which is a complete lie. Like, one of them was wiped out. And we see Newsku's delivering, and so that was the headline after the God Valley incident. Predictably, news coverage was falsified. Only one aspect of the story was highlighted or stood out: the heroism of Garp. It says here that the Rocks Pirates have been vanquished. Rocks is dead! I hate these random people all over the world who are like, woo! I'm so happy the Marines keep wiping out these criminals. Yay! Because they're so, like, friggin' brain dead, you know? Like, they don't... Is there anyone who questions the media in One Piece at all? They always celebrate when Whitebeard dies, when Ace dies. Like, they never question the narrative. Anyway. I knew Vice Admiral Garp was the strongest. Garp, he's a hero! Grand Line Navy HQ. What the hell is this article? Vice Admiral Garp. I can't wait to get my hands on that Morgans fella. Relax, Garp. The only reason he wrote that stuff is because the government paid him off. So yeah, I mean, Garp being salty about this, it kind of makes sense, right? Because as far, like, from his perspective, he didn't do anything special. He put down a poor man and, you know, let a monster get away, you know? But he's being painted as the hero here. I don't really get why he's being painted as the hero. Like, why not credit this to the Gods Knights? Are the Gods Knights not known by the average person? Did they have to pick a specific Marine? Because if I were them, I would have killed Garp and just credited everything to Garling. They kind of make Garp an indispensable hero to the Marines, you know? Like, they make him someone who they can't off later, because he's too popular. You love the in-scale power scaling moment? Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that one Zoro story from the Straw Hat Shorts, which I animated. Good times, lots of fun. Just whenever characters in universe start debating power, it's always pretty funny. But yeah, Garp probably just feels really annoyed about this. I kind of think it should have been just Morgans going off on his own, you know? Like, I feel like Morgan should have just been like, oh, I'm sure the Marines would want... Like, I'm sure the world government would want to credit a Marine with all this, so I'll just pick the most famous one there. and then the Marines are forced to roll with it and can't kill Garp. Because as it is, like, the government paid for Garp specifically to get the good press from this. Like, I know it's kind of like Smoker and Arabasta and stuff, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I just feel like they could have credited Garling and got rid of this pain. Okay. So we get probably the most interesting speech of the chapter here. The world government and the Marines are massive organizations. If you count the member nation armies, we're talking about tens of millions of soldiers worldwide. It's impossible to account for everyone's actions and motivations. So, if the top brass ever do strike me as insane, I'd simply turn a blind eye to it. Come again? So, honestly, looking at the art, I'm not sure if these three bubbles are Sengoku and this one is meant to be Garp, because initially I interpreted it as all four being Sengoku, but thankfully the way it's written works both ways, like if this is an interjection or if this is all just one speech and he's just, you know, flowing through logically to the last point. But overall the point is the same. Sengoku is saying, look, the world government is a big organization. Everyone's got their own agendas. I don't mean in the power scaling sense. Oh my god, what have I done? I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it in the power scale. Oh, whatever. So yeah, I hope... Okay, cool. We're still on Piccolo themes. Yeah, I didn't mean it like that. But he's basically saying, yeah, giant thing, everyone has their own agendas, you can't account for everything, and if the top brass are up to no good, I would just ignore it. And Garp's like, it's just like I said, how can you're just another promotion-chasing fool. And Sengoku says, shut up, what can you do barking from the bottom of the cliff? And, you know, everyone's, like, exasperated by their fight, and Garp's got... It kind of reminds me of, like, Full Metal Alchemist or some other stuff where, like, you've got friends who, like, vow to keep each other in line, you know? If you ever stray or get corrupted, I swear I'll kill you myself. How reassuring. I guess that's what friends are for. And, you know, now that I think about it, has Sengoku done anything too immoral in the series? Like, he was gonna have Ace executed, but Ace is a criminal. And yeah, I guess he was gonna have Ace executed just because he was the son of a famous pirate, which is kind of messed up. But other than that, like, it's not like Sengoku was Fleet Admiral during Ohara or any of the other events. In fact, most of the really bad morality stuff in Sengoku's era is done by Cypherpole. So I think Sengoku did live up to his end of the bargain and avoid being completely corrupted. And when something occurred that he couldn't stomach, Marineford, he actually just flat out resigned rather than be part of, you know, the cover-up. So yeah, cut to Elbaf, New World. Wah, wah! And we see Loki crying, and he remembers a conversation with Brox. You again? I ain't letting you on my ship. How many times do I gotta tell you, Pipsqueak? You think I want a brat on my crew? And Loki's just inconsolable. Let's make sure the music's good. Oh my god, how many Piccolo themes are there? Kikuchi just, like, had this one motif and riffed on it, like, 20 times. Works for me. I love the Loki Rocks convo. Yeah, so do I, man, so do I. What is this? The guy I want ain't giving me the time of day, but this snot-nosed brat won't leave me alone. Hey, Rox, I think you're Nika. Nika? The warrior of liberation who will destroy the world while laughing. Destroy it? I'm aiming to be king of the world. Besides, if anyone's got that power, it's Harold. Huh? So, I don't... Okay, let's talk power scalars here, okay? Because I don't think I don't personally think Rox is saying, "Hey, Harold is stronger than me." I think he's saying that Harold has access to more power. Like he can command these Ravagers. He can command the Galila, um, which we'll get into right now. Um, some people were nagging me for using Ravagers instead of Destroyers. But who cares? No, I think Ravagers is better. It strikes me as more Viking. I would definitely have. I would have tweaked it if I thought that it required, like, it should have been. Genuinely shocked me that Rox doesn't know Nika, and that he thinks that Harold is better suited for that power. No, I don't think I think he's saying that Harold already has the power to destroy the world if he wanted to, because he could find Galila and just command them to do whatever. I don't think this is a statement on their personal power here. But regarding him not knowing Nika, I'm not surprised at all. Nika and Joy Boy are not the same thing. I think Joy Boy was inspired by Nika, or they share the same mythological ancestor. But we're pretty sure that Nika is an Elbaf thing, and Joy Boy is, you know, the ancient king, the first pirate. The ancient kingdom stuff, you know. So I'm not too surprised that he isn't aware of that phrasing of it, especially since as far as we know, Rox was never a slave, and Nika was known as the hope to the slaves. So I feel like they kind of hold different identities in the mythology. Now, what I'm wondering is if Joy Boy and Davy D. Jones are inspired from Nika, or if one of them is Nika, and what that means. But I'm pretty sure they're not, because I think Zabek clearly has some information, like passed down from the Davy clan or something, or some poneglyph about Davy D. Jones and Joy Boy. So I'm pretty sure Nika has to be even more ancient. If I had to guess, Nika is from the apocalypse of the First World, and Joy Boy is from the apocalypse of the Second World. So yeah, listen up, Loki. Somewhere out there, the Galira are slumbering. They're an outrageous band of Ravagers, and the only one who can put them back into play is your Pops. I'm gonna continue to rally the rogues of the world, so just imagine if Harold and I teamed up. Who could possibly stop us then? Wow, that's awesome! So why aren't you and Pops already allies then? Because of love. And Loki's kind of confused by this, but I think I'm pretty sure like the implication here is it's because of Ida. But I don't know if that means like Rox understands him, or if he's like saying if he's saying that our boy Harold is deluded. Maybe another interpretation is that Rox does know Nika, but he was just surprised by Loki's comment. You see, I don't think that's likely because, you know, if he knows it's an Elbaf legend, he should expect everyone on Elbaf to know about it. And everyone on Elbaf does know about it because of the Harley. So, like, it doesn't make sense to me that he would be surprised about the source of it. Love for his country. That's a great one, Bleep. And it could be that, too. I think we'll have more to discuss about Harold in a second. But we've got... It seems that Rox left Loki with something here, because he rustles around in his pocket and pulls out this tiny book. It kind of looks like a manga, to be honest. I'm gonna come back again and again, though. I don't care if it takes 100 or 200 meetings. So yeah, Rox had not given up to Harold until the very end. Oh man, you just gave me a great idea. Rox should have seen the Harley. I would have loved to see his reaction. Yeah, yeah. I genuinely don't know why we didn't see that. I think it would have been... If I were Oda, I would have had one of the times where Harold shut down Rox to be at the Harley mural, because then we could have had both scenes take place concurrently. You know, he could have reacted to the Harley and gotten shot down, and I think that would have been a more interesting setting for it. Is that the newspaper? Oh, you're right. That is the newspaper. Oh my god. I completely misread that. Thank you, Bleep. Yes, that's a newspaper, isn't it? He's just... Oda, my guy. Oh my god. You see, I'm bummed out now, because I was speculating about this paper and what it could be. But the reason why it didn't occur to me it's the newspaper is because the scene ends with it, right? It should have started with this shot of him looking at the newspaper, and then shown him crying. But it's showing him crying, and then at the end, he, like, takes out the newspaper. It's kind of backwards, you know? That could totally be the newspaper. I was thinking it was a logbook or something. Ugh. I'm upset now. You've upset me. This is me upset. Anyway. Thanks, Bleep. So we cut off to, real question is how Loki is holding a newspaper when blindfolded. You know, that's another good point. I assume that he actually took off his... What the hell? Oda. Maybe he's got the, like, bands not, like, loose enough that they look like they're tied up, but he's got small eye holes. But there's no way he, like, read the paper, did the bandages up, started crying, and then, like, like, took the paper out again. This is on par with the friggin' Shanks, like, substitution jutsu for the when he swapped out with a log. What the hell is this? You can't say the paper's got braille on it either, because it's so tiny, and he's wearing gloves. Oh my god, you've ruined the chapter for me. Meek, you've ruined the chapter. Ugh, hacked the chapter. It's a vicious assault! King Harold of Elbaf is... Navy, have any civilians been harmed? No. On a certain island. It's always a certain island until Oda, like, wants to clarify. Could he not have said this is Vera or something, you know? Just any name. I guess, you know, why not? Like, keep the world expanding. But, you know, whenever it says a certain island, I'm like, ooh, is this place going to be important? Ooh, I wonder. But it's usually not. Yeah, thingamabob. No need to say sorry. Thanks for joining me, by the way. Like and share the video if you can. I know this is pretty late stream for most people, or early in the morning, so... I'm not expecting too many people to be up at this time, but this is when I had a moment to talk about it, because I was so tired yesterday. He attacked another giant, some thug. It's quite a brutal scene, and we see a woman crying, and Harold, just looking as angry as anyone in the series ever has, is like, you still don't get it? I understand. Really, I'm sorry. I'll never steal from humans again. You don't get it. None of you do. And he keeps pounding the guy, like, literally into the floor. Huge trash heaps like you are responsible for the terrors of our race's history. And that's why we can't be trusted. We only desire to peacefully engage with the world now. But they can't trust that. And he keeps, like, punching him. It's pretty brutal the way people are running away from him. This almost reminds me of, when Luffy punches Dofi into Dressrosa. It's a similar panel. Yeah, I mean, if I remember right, the Japanese here was like big-bodied trash like you, which it kind of just makes him sound like he's calling him fat, but really it's a callback to what Ida called him a few chapters ago, when, you know, she's like, you just happen to be born big, there's nothing to be proud of, you know? Your Highness, he's already out cold. And here we get the real reason for Harold's anger. I didn't want to jeopardize Elbaf's chances of joining the world government. That was my only reason for not helping him. And then we get the flashback of, but it doesn't feel like luck's on my side anymore, Harold. Lend me a hand. I forsook my closest friend as he begged me for aid. I left him to die. There's no turning back now. I will never, ever forgive a giant who does evil. And he breaks down. And the headline is Giant King loses it, which, you know. Understandable. Understandable. I would be pretty bummed too if I could have saved the world, but instead of siding with the hero, Rox, I decided to be a pacifist and, like, you know, just, you know, appease the evil dictator who was clearly corrupt and killing people in front of me. This is like the most 2020 hindsight moment ever. Like, anyone could have told you, Harold, that you're making a mistake here, but now he's got to live with the guilt of not siding with Rox, and he has to make Rox's death, you know, worth it. Like, Rox died for the sake of, in Harold's eyes, Rox essentially died for the sake of Harold appeasing the world government and keeping Elbaf in its good books. So if any giant does evil, that's just unforgivable for him because it's hurting that reputation which he sacrificed his friend for. So it's kind of a deep, like, you know, sad moment, but this idiot, man, he brought it on himself. He's worse than Odin ever was for the dancing stuff, because, like, he had the best horse and he didn't back it. I genuinely don't get why. Whatever. It's quite funny saying that while destroying a town. Yes, that's the other thing, right? He's worried about the giant's reputation, but this, if anything, makes them look more barbaric than anything this thief or thug did, you know? Surely. It just makes him look unstable, and that's what the headline will read to everyone. It's a losing battle when you try to appease racists. Like, that's what he's doing. He is going and being like, oh, I'm so sorry that my ancestors did wrong. Let me, you know, do reparations and try and make up for it. And it's just like, no, reparations are a great thing, but, like, if you're trying to cater to someone who's in power over you and biased against you for racial reasons, there's nothing he can ever do that will make the world government see him as an equal. Because they don't care about that. They just see people as resources. They genuinely don't care about the sins of the giants' past. They just see them as a powerful resource to manipulate. Like Imu said, there won't be a ruler this pliable for who knows when. Like, this is an unprecedented opportunity. Roger could have recruited Harold. Rox is a bum. Oh, come on. I think at this era, Roger didn't care about the big picture. I think he was just all about adventuring and having fun and looking for treasure. I don't think it's until after God Valley where he starts to actually care about the big picture and start looking into, you know, what he can do. Anyway, so we've got the most controversial scene in the chapter. Navy HQ, underground detention cell. This does not look underground, by the way. But I double-checked it, and it is underground. But this looks like a castle cell, you know? We've got echoing Garp visiting Ace in prison. Dad, I'm gonna quit the Marines. Okay. And you, I despise you. Okay. And clank, he drops the key. I don't know if that's him actually letting him go, like, officially, or if he's letting Dragon escape here. It could honestly be either. This is quite a sad moment. I think, there's a few ways you could have phrased the K part. It could have been alright, it could have been uh-huh, it could have been yeah. But I think K is... You see, because, like, on Garp's end, I think he's meant to be resigned to this. He's meant to take the abuse, not argue with Dragon, not, you know, defend himself, but also, you know, not fully engage with him either. Because he knows he's got to stay in the Marines. And he especially has to do it for two reasons. One, all the Marines who he feels, committed to being so high up in the organization already, he wants to protect them. But two, this music is so inappropriate. um, but two, let's say if he did leave the Marines, let's say he did leave the Marines after being labeled the hero of the Marines, he would literally destabilize the world because he is seen as the poster child of the Marines, the icon of justice, and if he went rogue and became a pirate now, like I feel like he feels trapped here. Like the way Oda's framed it, he's the one behind bars here. I think if Garp did leave the Marines here, he would be causing more like chaos and strife in the world because it would lose all confidence in the government. And maybe that's a good thing, but it would also cause mass anarchy, I think. But I think his priority is to protect the younger Marines here, so he's resigned himself to stay here and, see things through. But he totally understands Dragon's point of view and doesn't feel like he's got any right to argue with him or tell Dragon how to live his life. So he can't defend himself or say anything, or like he might even agree because to an extent Dragon was only in this situation because of Garp, right? Like Garp's blindness. Garp was so busy chasing pirates and having fun being strong that he didn't notice how corrupt the Marine organization was. So his son comes in and on his first training mission he frigging has to commit a genocide. Like you would blame your father for putting you in that position. Like did you really not know? Like there's a complete shatter in the bond here, and I think in Garp's eyes he's resigned and trying to be cooperative, and in Dragon's eyes he's being dismissive and flippant. So it's quite a cool argument for the two of them. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. I think Garp is somewhat feeling akin to how he was when he met Dadan after Ace died. Exactly. Like he almost wants to be punished, Um, just completely accepting of the backlash. At the same time, he's slightly sour that Dragon is leaving the Marines. Just due to the fact that Garp wanted his son to be a Marine. Yeah, life is definitely not going how Garp wanted, but I think he totally understands his son's anger at him and is just taking the abuse. He could have done this with Ace, F Garp. It would have been difficult, but still F Garp. I don't know if this is actually him helping Dragon escape, or if he's if because like the way Dragon is talking, he's saying I'm gonna quit the Marines, not like he's gonna be executed or in prison his entire life. So it kind of implies that Dragon is expecting to get out of prison one way or the other, legally or illegally. So I don't know if this is an escape or not, What do you guys think? Is this an escape or is this just time to be released? Like he's been in prison for a few months. You're getting dishonorably discharged, son. Would they silence him? Maybe they would. I don't know. I don't know if Garp is helping him escape or not. Maybe he is, because he drops the key. Harold, I've made up my mind, Ida. Elder Ja Rule. I don't care about appearances anymore. Harajin, Loki, you are both my precious sons. I want you to get along when I'm gone. And do what you can to support Elbaf. And that's exactly what Harold himself is doing, which is why Oda cut to a new scene with that voiceover. Marineford, Navy HQ. Oh my god, it's so good to see Marineford and its actual classic design, as opposed to the stupid McDonald's ass, like, new Navy HQ. Oh crap, this is the IRL. There we go. The McDonald's arches. I hate this design for it. I really prefer Marineford, especially with the more landmass around it. It seems like more of a castle. It seems a bit more Asian inspired. Although you do still kind of still have it at the top. I don't know. But yeah, it's nice to just see it even in the distance. That ship, it's from Elbaf. What? My apologies, King Harold. But my superiors have ordered me not to let you land. This actually said Kingdom of Elbaf. It's abbreviated here because I think that's clunky, but I wonder if this soft confirms that Warland is the only kingdom. I think most of us assumed that it was anyway, but just because we had the alternating, like, oh, Elbaf is the island, whereas Warland is the country name. Like, I wonder if that's soft confirmation that there's just the one kingdom of Elbaf. There probably was, the way I imagine it is that there's only one kingdom, but the various tribes were a bit looser and followed chiefs until Harold's era. But I could be wrong. Anyway. High-ranking Marines and leader... I love how he just walks onto the island because he's a giant. High-ranking Marines and leaders of the world government. I ask that you please hear me out. And he grabs his horns and rips them out with a snap. And I think this is actually the this like screaming of pain, ow, 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 is actually from the reactions of the Navy. I don't think this is him actually screaming. I think he's actually taking it in silence. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. I think it can be read either way. But it's a pretty cool scene. It's pretty metal. But it's also ridiculously stupid. Allow me to atone for the sins of the past 1,000 years. I apologize for every wrong the giant race has committed. The children of Elbaf are being raised to live without harming others, so that one day they may walk hand in hand with humanity. I do all this to prove our unwavering commitment to peace. I'll do whatever it takes to atone for our sins, even if it means becoming a slave. And end of chapter 1166. Is there a light at the end of this tunnel? No, there isn't. It's just blackness into Imu's eye, because this is the most naive, stupid thing he could have ever... Okay, first of all, I hate this idea of racial sins that you have to atone for. I think Harold is completely wrong here. Like, I think everyone's ancestors, like, everyone's got Genghis Khan in their ancestry. Everyone's ancestors were slave owners or massive racists or evil men. That's how people survived in a very, very grim world. And we need to, take care of each other more and stuff and, make up for that and, improve our current living conditions. But to rip out the mark of your heritage, to mutilate yourself for the sake of others, I know he says he doesn't care about appearances, but this is only caring about appearances in my eyes. This is changing yourself to be what others, want you to be. And to me, that's really dark. To me, that's really, really dark. I don't really get it. To me, I think Oda was more on the money with Katakuri, and how he, by the end of the fight, he didn't feel the shame to cover up. He didn't need to care about other people's appearances, what people thought of his mouth and stuff. He kind of learned that from Luffy, and I kind of hope the next time we see Katakuri in the main manga, he's not covering up. But I know we've seen him in cover stories since where he is. But, to me, that message rings a lot more true. I think we're meant to think that Harold is wrong here. I think we're meant to think that he's desperate and that his grief has driven him to this. But I don't think there's any hope at the end of this tunnel. I think he wants a great thing, but he's going about it by appeasing evil people. And I don't think that can actually, result in a good ending for him or his country. I think his ideals are perfect, but his method of getting there is naive, because these people do not want peace. They don't want peace at all. They don't want to be equals with you. They don't care about what your people have done to them. They just care about you being a resource. So yeah, I think this is a really sad scene. It's almost on par with Odin dancing. It might even be sadder in how far he's debasing himself here. Um, but yeah, I mean, ultimately, with these past characters, I don't think it's about their methods, because obviously it doesn't work, and that's Oda's point. The method is, what Luffy and Co are eventually gonna do, where they tear down this regime and can start again from zero, like they did in Fishman Island. Um, Here it's just kind of here. This is like we're presenting the idealists like Queen Otohime and stuff as having the right perspective. But their approach leads to a lot of self-sacrifice, and ultimately they've misdiagnosed the problem. They are treating the symptoms and not the disease. The disease is Emu, and the only man who recognized that was Rox. But it was too late, and I don't think Harold truly knows who he's pledging himself to. And I kind of wish that Rox and Harold had better communication, that Rox told Harold about Emu and all of the history. Because if he did, I think Harold would go about it a different way. Like, he would still want peace and to make up for giant crimes, but he wouldn't be bowing to the wrong man here. And I think that's really the worst thing about it. By the way, during my speech, my phone ran out of battery, so my avatar is staring into the distance, playing on his phone. So I hope that isn't too distracting. Um, yeah, if I remember correctly, it was like Elbaf's kingdom. Yeah, that's right, Meek. Finally, sometime, like nothing happened. I don't know what that's about, Bleep. Is slave like a wake up word for emu? Did someone say slave? Where? I'm assuming that Emu is actually watching this or listening to this meeting. Like, they've got a Deden Mushi and are on the line to the Gorose, um, who are obviously at Maryjoa and not Marineford. But speaking of which, did he like go over Maryjoa to get here? Did he go through Fishman Island? How the hell did he get here? Honestly, because like Elbaf is in the New World. It makes no sense. How the hell did he get here? He would have to have gone through. He would have to have gone through Maryjoa to come here, or through Fishman Island, or he would have to have gone through like he couldn't. He had to go through the Grand Line, the Red Line, because like the New World doesn't connect to any of the blues, which Paradise does. So it's nonsense how he's here. Um, I think Oda might have forgotten that Marineford was in Paradise and not the New World. But whatever. Let's just assume he went via Fishman Island. Um, did you see Rox's official coloring, by the way? I did, yeah. Shonen Jump new cover. Yeah, I don't know where I can find it. Okay, yeah, Rock's official colors. Let's take a look. So yeah, blue hair with white highlights. This is about what I imagined. It's kind of purple hair, actually. Purple is obviously associated with royalty. Um, it's also associated with evil characters normally, but I think it's pretty fair to say that he's not evil. Yeah, I don't know. I think it looks good. I don't have any problems with it. I'd probably exaggerate the darkness of the purple in the anime, have the purple overwhelm the white a bit in terms of balance. But overall, it looks pretty cool to me. I don't have any deeper symbolic like readings on what it could mean. Um, yeah, I mean, he looks pretty cool. Man, it's crazy to think. People are saying it looks like a clown. Oh dear. Okay, I think I'm about to wrap up the stream. Why am I holding my PSP? Um could this will be fulfilled in the modern day? In the One Piece world, probably. In real world, probably not. Um, Luffy would have to destroy the world government, though. If you go back to the Rox Loki scene, you'll see that Rox talked about their team up. Rox gets the villains, and Harold gets Galila. Yeah, that's true. I kind of got the idea that the Galila are like Viking ancient heroes, you know? Um, but that doesn't mean they're good people. Like when we talk about ancient heroes like Odysseus and stuff, like or Viking heroes and stuff, like in the ancient world, being a hero just meant being a great warrior, a pillager and stuff. You know, like in the Odyssey, they raid villages and stuff like that. So I don't know if I agree that that Harold will get the heroes in that breakdown, but I do kind of see what you mean in that Rox kind of positioned himself to support Harold from the underworld. He's kind of doing what Sengoku and Garp agreed to do here without words, where Sengoku will climb the ranks and Garp will support from the base and ensure that they don't get corrupted. So we kind of get to see a more healthy version of the relationship play out here. Buggy and the villains and Loki find Galila. If Buggy found Galila, that would be really cool. I'm kind of wondering if they're not just the Punk Hazard, not giants, because it's a frozen giant army. But I don't know. I think Loki X Cross Guild Alliance would be amazing. I still want to know what Loki's fruit is. If Loki's fruit is anything like that, will shrink him down. I mean, he's still a contender to be, like, if not a Straw Hat, part of the Grand Fleet, because I think seeing Luffy transform into Nika will have a profound effect on him. Although I'm feeling less and less crewmates from this flashback, to be honest. Just because the flashback focused so much on Harold so far. But if we get more focus on Loki, it depends on what Loki's story is, to be honest. I kind of wish that we had more scenes with Loki and Harold before Harold died. Could Davy be the great power which could have united the 20 kingdoms? Maybe. I love Loki's interpretation of Nika. I think Loki's interpretation of Nika is correct. I think Luffy will have to destroy the world to save it. But it won't be like, kill everyone. It will be destroying the Red Line. Maybe even unflooding the Earth. Maybe even getting rid of Devil Fruits, I think by the time Luffy is done, the world will be completely different and humanity will start from scratch. Not that Luffy will care. Luffy will just have beaten up the tyrant who he hates. And he'll be excited because, there's a new world to go out there and explore. New horizons, new lands, new land masses, a united ocean. And, I think Luffy will just provide the world with a fresh start. And hopefully we learn from our mistakes this time, Okay, I think I've addressed all the comments. Thank you so much for engaging with me, guys. This has been really cool. We've been streaming for just about an hour. I'm pretty happy with this breakdown. If you guys would give it a like and share it with anyone like post in like whatever video places because I'm not very good with that kind of promotion stuff. I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this. Like Davy Jones's descendants were the true rulers of the Blue Planet. I don't know if it has anything to do with bloodline for this. I think it probably just has to do with will and intention. I think Davy Jones and Joy Boy wanted to unite the oceans, and Emu flooded it instead. Yeah, purple is the color of royalty. I do agree with that. It's possible, but there's no shot that the series ends with Blackbeard being king, crowned by Luffy. It's just never gonna happen. Although I could see them allying for a brief period, during the final war. Anyway, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.